Good evening. Good evening, good evening. Talk to OS's Oloritemi, Perfect Male, Ade King, Mojisola, Aminu, Zainab, Chinazorita, Icons for Family. Hey sis, good evening. Bella, good evening. Thank you. I am BK. Thank you. Official Sue. Good evening. Remy Elizabeth. Good evening. Call me blessed. I said I call me favor because of Jesus Christ. They call me blessed. I said they call me favor because of Jesus Christ. Good evening. How are you? Let me know where you're connecting from tonight. Where are you connecting from? Hey, Mama Angel from Canada. Good evening. Epic drama. Good evening. Pink Daisy Kids. Taye. Good evening. Good evening. Icons for Family. Thank you. In my belly, open a soul. You make everything brand new. Butterflies in my belly, open a soul. Open a soul. Hi, thank you. Official Sue from Lagos. See someone from PH Daniel Olubode Ajimo Helen from Port Harcourt. Good evening. Tonight is going to be interesting, and I am excited about my guest tonight. Eki, Erica, Dory, Cutie, Nelly. I see you all. Good evening. Thank you so much. Thank you all. Thank you, Sue. Thank you so much. It's Thursday. I call it Thriving Thursday because of Soul Clinic. This is Soul Clinic with the Soul Doctor, and I'm the Soul Doctor. My name is Jola-Grace, and I'm so passionate about the health and the healing of your soul. So every Thursday we come together and we talk about real life issues, especially things that relate with the soul. I normally say that your soul, the prosperity of your soul, is the foundation of the prosperity of every other area of your life. 3 John 2 says, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. So a lot of times we focus on other areas of our lives and we neglect our soul, but it's important for us to pay attention to our soul. I see you all from Warri, from Benin. Good evening all. I'm so excited to have everybody in the house tonight. I'm going to quickly, introduce my guest, and then we're going to hit the ground running tonight. I'm so excited about my guest now. My guest is a woman of many parts. She's a successful industry leader. She's an entrepreneur, a motivational speaker, a fashion designer, a certified public speaker, and also a certified marriage counselor. She is a kingdom influencer and the CEO of a fashion brand. I'll come back and tell you about the fashion brand in a minute. She's a multiple award-winning personality and the founder of Be More Foundation, a platform of empowerment for the less privileged to be motivated through fashion. And this saw the brand give out grants of over 50 businesses to over 50 businesses. She's initiated NHN the War Room. I'm trying not to call her name, but I can't read her profile without saying that. Okay, so NHN the War Room, a prayer platform for women that has brought together over 25 million participants worldwide online, and she also hosts the NHN Meet and Greet, an international women's retreat where she gathers women for a spiritual and physical wellness retreat. over the years. The retreat has been held in Lagos, in Dubai, Cappadocia, Istanbul, and of course, the last one was right here in the United Kingdom, with over 150 women in attendance. I am super duper excited, guys, to have in the house tonight the one and only Dr. Nkechi Harry. Hotel. I want you to just show some love, some heart. Oh, give it to me. Otherwise, I'll tell Mama to go back home. I know she's busy. I want to see the comment section, emojis of love, of flowers, of heart, of, just whatever. Just tonight, so welcome to our virtual podium. Good evening. Good evening. I'm so excited. I just said, let me just read a fraction of your profile. Fraction. Because I'll be reading it for the next 1 hour. You are
it's long,
such
right?
a blessing. You are such
We're going to try to find a way to make it, to summarize it.
Yes. You're such a blessing, a tremendous blessing to the body of Christ, to women, of different ages. Sometimes we see people just minister to a particular set of women, but you've been able to come across to speak to women of different ages. You're such a blessing. Just looking at you, like, we are inspired that, okay, if you're doing it, I can do it, And I must say, I love your laughter. Sometimes I just go to your IG live, please. She should laugh. She should just laugh. I'm waiting for her to laugh. Because I think there's a grace, there's an anointing upon that laughter that you cannot be sad when any child is laughing. I celebrate you, Mama. I celebrate you, and thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for all you do and for your kingdom heart. So this is lessons I've learned along life's journey. And I know that 24 hours is not even enough to elicit that you have to share with us tonight. But I'm just going to, because one thing that I've realized about, sharing, being vulnerable and sharing our journey with people is that it saves lives.
That's right.
Somebody, I'm in a group that somebody posted something today about this lady. Let me quickly check her name now. Chesley Christ, the title. Okay, she was the former Miss North Carolina. Who I think it was a few years ago.
That wasn't. I think it was last year.
Was it? Yeah, it was actually last year. It was January last year.
Yeah, it was last year.
That she committed suicide. And sometimes you will wonder. There was another guy. I can't remember his name now. Also, I think last year, a DJ.
Yeah.
There was this popular comedian as well. So you're asking yourself, oh, but I see success. If I look at these people on their social media, all I see is success. All I see is, happiness. Oh my goodness. That's a contradiction. How is suicide, meaning they died from depression? How can you be depressed? But I'm still seeing that, you seem successful.
Yeah.
Which is why part of the things that is so heavy upon my heart is, my story, is when God told me a few years ago to start showing people my scar.
Yeah.
And I thought, okay, so yes, I have a physical scar because I had cancer and I had the operation done, and I have a massive scar on my shoulder. And I kind of want to cover it up. I don't like exposing it. So, you see me not. I remember we had this thing we had in Lagos that I was saying that my scar, So, but because it's not, okay, my scar. But he said, no, your emotional scar. Meaning that start becoming vulnerable and let people see where you are hurt and how you have been healed. Because a lot of times people just see the superficial side of us. Right. And they are going through their own stuff. So people are thinking there's something wrong with me. Oh, something must be wrong with me because everybody else, their life is perfect. I better just, go along with the script of just coming and smiling on social media and just thinking that life, but they are struggling. And so a lot of times when we share our story, we are giving hope to somebody. We're telling somebody, look, it's okay not to be okay. I've been there, but look at where I am now. I'm no longer there. And when they see people that they think, oh, everything is perfect with them, share some things, it gives hope to people, because people start getting depressed when they lose hope, and then they commit suicide because they're like, they can't see any way out. But we're saying there is a way out. It doesn't matter what you're going through, it doesn't matter where you have been, you have hope. And there is light at the end of that tunnel. So I want to start by asking you. So just tell us, I know I said you do this, you do that from your bio, but just tell us a little bit more about you. Who is NHN?
First of all, I want to say a very big thank you, Jola. Thank you for being a blessing. And I want to seize this opportunity to say thank you for what you did at the NHN meet and greet in London. The Lord bless you. The Lord honor you. We can't thank you enough. Thank you so much. Thank you also for being vulnerable and sharing your story that healed so many, many ladies died there in that conference. The Lord bless you. And I want to celebrate all my warriors. They're all here.
Warriors.
I'm just seeing all their comment. The Lord bless you. So for those joining for the first time, my name is Nkechi Harry-Ngonadi. All right. I am I'm a woman with many, just like you said. So I don't even know where to start. Okay, I'm an entrepreneur. I'm a fashion designer. I'm in real estate. I'm a counselor, a certified counselor, and I'm also a certified marriage coach, and I'm the conveyor of the NHN, the world. I think that is just a summary of who I am, and I think that you do.
Awesome. You know, I was with Mama, Reverend Funke, at a conference this last weekend, and she said something that really, you know, when you hear something and it enters from your head, goes through all the parts of your body and just marinates your body, like, okay. You know, she said we should be intentional about hearing what God is saying to us and not what God said to us. That life is in season and we're in different seasons of life. Okay. And I know that I came to see you some time ago when I was in London, and you know, I was at your fashion boutique, and you were telling me about this, and then you said, oh, but I'm not really doing that. And so I was thinking, I was like, why is she not, you know, this? So it seems as if you are in a season, you are in another season now.
Yes, I am.
Which is the NHS War Room. So I want us to tell us a little more about that. How did you enter into that mandate and that calling, and why the War Room?
All right, the NHN brand, it started from the NHN brand. The Lord gave me a vision. The NHN brand is a faith, you know, is a faith brand. And it came from a place of prayers, you know, and right there and then, out of that time, I didn't understand the vision. I just thought it was just about clothing women and dressing up women. But God was more interested in the inside beauty of the women, the inner beauty. So I thought it was just all about the outer beauty until we started the brand, and gradually God started speaking and made me understand that he was more interested about the inner beauty, because a woman can never be beautiful if she's ugly within. So beauty comes from inside out. All right. So from there, we moved right into the next phase, and the vision of the War Room came. But before the War Room started, I'd already started, you know, the NHN brand, and also adding it together with the faith vision that the Lord gave to me. And then God, of course, trusted me with the vision, and just so that this is my daughter, she come overdue, you know, and then he then moved me to the next phase, which was where the NHN War Room came about. And right now, I'm in a season in my life where, like you said rightly, that Mama said that life is a process. I call it a journey. So life is a journey, and there's always where to stop and where to turn and where to, you know, you don't just go straight in the journey. There's always a stop and a turn and the likes of that.
Yeah.
So I'm in one of those seasons when I need to focus on my children. My children, you know, are privileged to relocate abroad and schooling abroad, and it affected my business. So, but at the same time, just affected one of my business, which is the NHN brand, the NHN couture. But already, like I said, I do many other things. So I had other businesses running while I was doing the clothing business. Okay, so, and I had to just calm down and concentrated just on the fabric section, where we now just, you know, sell fabrics in wholesales to certain individuals that buy from us. So, but then we shut down the factory, which is what you met when you came. So we shut down the factory because for you to effectively run a fashion brand in Nigeria, you need to be present. Your presence has to be on ground. If not, they will run you down. You know, so I understood all that, and I just said to myself, although it was a struggle, you know, I really didn't want to do that, but my children meant more to me than whatever I'm going to be making from the fashion brand. So that's where I am right now. So here we just concentrate. Right now we're just dealing with wholesales, supply for fabric, exclusive fabrics to different outlets. But the sewing factory is shut. The production factory is shut down for now.
Thank you so much for that. You know, I'm going to take you up a little bit more on that, because I know that one of the, I mean, change is a constant in life, but I know that one of the most challenging things for anybody to do is to change when you have to, you know, go through a phase of change. And especially, you know, asking you, what phase are you? Where are you now? You said you're focusing on your children. That doesn't look like a fashion, not that's not the word, a fashion, everything, a sophisticated thing to say. You know, people probably were expecting you to say, well, at the moment, you know, I'm dealing with the spiritual issues. You know, someone big English, something really like, you know, you said, I'm just at a phase where I'm focusing on my children. And I think that there are some people that are watching or that will watch, and they are in a fix. They are trying to make a decision, especially as it relates with their family, right? Because the truth is, you know, I'm a certified life and trauma recovery coach, and I help people who have been through abuse to heal and reinvent themselves for an excellent life. And sometimes I counsel people, you know, I talk to people, and sometimes people come, especially women, and they say, oh, I want to go and work, you know, my husband is not allowing me to work, I want to do this, I want to do that. And I said, oh, okay, so how old are your children? You have children? Yes. Oh, they are 3, they are 2, they are 4. You know, because as a coach, you're not really allowed to just tell people what to do. You need to help them come to their get to their own answer. So, but in my mind, sometimes I just want to like really seriously go home and sit down and look at your children, because sometimes people just don't understand how to navigate that place of, yes, have work, do stuff, right? But there are times that you just have to focus on your children, especially. Okay, somebody said no sound. Okay, can you guys hear me? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so Funkaze, you might want to check your network, okay, except there's anybody else that cannot hear us. So I just strongly believe that there are some people that are at that place where they are struggling, okay, to make that decision, right, to focus on their family, either their husband or their children, at the expense, in quotes, of a career or a business. How did you make that transition? What were the things you did that helped you to transition to that place?
It was just simple because of the understanding I have from the knowledge of God. I know that God has called us primarily one, you know, as a woman, even as the man, for our families to come first. So our number one assignment on earth is to get our family saved. Because on that last day, God will first ask you, will demand of you, of your family members, your children and your husband first, before you start finding out whether you want a soul outside or not. But as believers, you see, a lot of people tend to focus more on going out to win souls, while inside, in their own home, it's not, it's all scattered and all chaos. And what it does is that it allows the enemy, the devil, to use that as a loophole to get into your home and begin to cause havoc. So there you see families having children that are either wayward or just want to be vagabonds and the likes of them. And this is mainly because there is a void, of absential parents in the home. The the mothers are always quite busy. The fathers are always busy. But this is it. For me, I like to be balanced. The society in which we are right now, the economy is also not even, allowing people to have this kind of, to first want to think of their family, to stay home, to take care of their family, and then, or to go out to work. And they need to feed, because you can't just ask them to stay home and be a stay-home wife. And then how do they feed the children? So, and we also have families where they're not complete. We have mothers that have kids out of wedlock, and then we also have we have single parents, and we have those that have lost one spouse or the other. So how do they balance these things? Like I say to the women, especially for those that are in my tribe, I said it's very important for every woman to multitask, and look for other streams of income. Yes, you must not be a banker. Yes, you must not be in that white collar job. Yes, you must not be a doctor. You don't have to be a lawyer. Anything that takes you away from parenting, giving your children 100% attention, it's not good. It's not advisable. And if you find yourself in that shoes, then it simply means that you need to start looking for other good job. And there are so many things to do while you are at home. Right now, the world has gone global. Everybody is, all you need to do is to just turn on your internet, and then you start to work, So you can even work from home. So, but the issue is that people think it's until they go out. They go out. That's the only time they can bring in income. So for me, it wasn't, I'm married to a retired naval officer who is, a government, what they call them now? Government staff,
personnel.
Whatever.
We know what. Hey, Mama Grace.
That's my person. That's my
evening,
person.
Mama Grace.
Grace of Hooray. So and I'm married to this guy, and my husband loves his job. He loves his job. You would think that Navy belongs to his father. And being the wife, I understood that, so which means that I needed to take time to settle, I have to stay home while he goes to work. So I stayed back and make sure that my kids all grew up. I just started the NHM brand barely 10 years ago. And at this time, my son was already 4 going to 5. So that it gave me enough room to be able to, start doing something. But even with that, I had this business in my home, in my compound. So I'll be able to have time for the children. So that's just it. It's the most important thing is to know, what does the word say? What did God say concerning the family units? If you understand that, it will be easier for you to transition, knowing that the salvation of your family, of your children and your spouse is dependent on you. So if you have that understanding, you will want your children to make heaven. You will want your husband to make heaven.
Absolutely.
So if it means you just taking, like we said, life is a journey and it comes in seasons. It's just for a little while. It was a little while. And when it was time and I came out, it took me just 3 months and I blew. 3 months, I became an international kick. 3 months, I was, a powerhouse in less than 3 months when we opened the NHM brand. And again, like I said, it was the NHM brand is in my compound. I didn't need to go out. So I didn't need to get a shop in any of those streets in Lagos. I didn't need that in my own house, because I understood kingdom. I understood who I am in Christ, and I understood what I carry. I know that no matter where I am, the Bible says I am a star. He said I'm like a city built on a hill that can never be hidden. So even in my boys' quarters, I could not be hidden. I became a global phenomenon and a force to be reckoned with in 3 months. And I was new in Lagos. I also just came to Lagos. I didn't attend Lagos University. I didn't go to the Ibadan one. I didn't go, because everything around Lagos seemed to be people that went to the same school. I went I came from the north. Even when I came in here, even my northern people were all in Abuja. My mates all stayed back in Abuja, and they were all getting, good jobs in Abuja. And I came
good
here.
evening, ma'am.
Yeah, bless you. So, like I said, the most important thing is knowing who you are and what has God said
about
concerning you. When you know who you are and what you carry, it's easier for you. It's very easy for you to transition.
I think that's deep. What you just shared is deep, because a lot of times we're we're not sure of who we are in God. We're not sure of the love of God in our lives. I have a group coaching where I coach women, who have been through abuse and all of that. And I was saying to them last week, I said, if you ask me why you went through what you went through, I don't have the answer. I don't know. But there's one thing I know, is that God loves you. God loves you. And the Bible says God is close to the brokenhearted. So God is close to you.
Yeah.
So sometimes it's just that you believe in God, and just stay with him. You might not understand what is going on, or why he's telling you to stay at home for so many years and look after your children. But the truth is, the times you stayed at home to look after your children, they were not wasted times. Because it's the things you have been imputing into yourself for those years that made you blow in seemingly 3 months.
Yeah.
But the job has been going on for those years. And it's important for people to understand that. See, I deal with a lot of clients who have gone through childhood trauma. And in their adults, that trauma is affecting them negatively. Because, see, I normally say that the soul has 5 needs, and these are not wants, they are needs. Your soul has a need for love, care, affection, attention, and appreciation.
That's right.
And children, especially in their formative ages, they need those 5 soul needs must be there.
Yeah.
And where do they get them from? Their primary caregiver, the mother, the father. The child wants to be appreciated. That child needs care. That child needs love. It's not just, oh, I paid all your school fees, I bought this one for you. No,
it's not enough.
You. They want you to tell them they're beautiful. They want you to look at them and say, oh, you're very well done. You did that. You did a good job.
I'm proud of you.
I'm proud of you. I see clients now as an adult who are saying that I found out that when I was growing up, I had to do something before my dad, appreciated me. It was always like, so growing up, they were used to that's doing, and that's doing, and that's doing. And it affects even forming relationship as an adult. So you will see some people have insecure attachment styles. So that means that sometimes it's anxious, anxiety, and attachment style. So they always want to glue themselves to people because they're afraid of people leaving them. So maybe mom comes today, and then 2 weeks mom travels. I don't see mom again. So I don't know when mom is going to come again. So the house help that's there, let me just hold on to her. I don't want her to go. And they grow up like that. Every time
they become vulnerable as well.
They become vulnerable. And that's why a lot of the clients, I think I was saying it somewhere, I don't know where, that a lot of the clients that I help to deal with spousal abuse, when we dig deep, they went through childhood abuse.
Of course. Hurting people hurt others.
So
simple.
They are normal. I remember that I was saying to one of my friends that after I exited, I went through 16 years of domestic violence and abuse, and I exited that, and I began to relate with people. And one day I saw my friend. I was in my cousin's house, and my cousin was, lying down on that bed, just flexing. And my cousin's husband was in the kitchen, and I was like, what's going on here? This is not normal. Like, what's wrong with you? Why is your say it's normal? And then I went to my auntie's house. I saw my uncle was there. My uncle is an Air Force wing commander. He was in the kitchen washing dishes. I said, hey, what's going on? Some people don't have respect, oh. How can you? But in those people are telling me, Jola, your normal is abnormal. So start removing those things from your mind. What was normal to me was somebody was upstairs. I would carry their food and go and meet them and say, yes, your food is ready. And I thought that was how life is.
Life should be.
And so a lot of times, people need to begin to ask themselves, okay, this thing that I think that this is, everybody must go to work. I must chase 9 to 5. I must do this. Where did that normal come from? Why do you think that is normal? And I love what you said, that is about God, the knowledge of God, and how God is leading you and how God is directing you. I want to ask you, Dr. Nkechi, everybody looks at you. Oh, wow. I want to be like her. I want to be your mentor. How did you get here? Has it always been this rosy? Has everything always been good? Tell us a little bit about your challenges in your journey, because we're talking about lessons I've learned along life's journey. How has the journey? Has it been like a bed of roses? Everything been perfect? Otherwise, tell us a little bit about those challenges and how you overcame them.
Wow. My warriors are here now. Their ears. It's every day. Every day we remember one thing or the other. My life is filled with stories. Starting from my childhood. I think it all started from my childhood. I lost my parents while I was quite young. I lost my mom at the age of 5. And 10 years after then, I lost my dad. So I'd always lived with this mindset of rejection and loss. 10 years after then, I lost my immediate elder sister. So there was this loss and, rejection around me. So I think it started from there. But I also come from a family that were taught to be happy no matter what, because sometimes I ask myself, I'm not the only one like this. You have to meet my siblings. When you meet my siblings, you will think that they did us, somebody did us, they caused us somewhere with laughter. Yeah, and we all laugh alike. So my sister can be laughing, you're right, and maybe I'm not there, she's just laughing, and I'm not. You would think I'm the one laughing. Wow. My brother's the same thing, and it's simply because my father brought us up, in the atmosphere of laughter. My dad used to laugh a lot as well. And when we lost both of them, you can't believe that we didn't have time to grieve.
Wow.
Yeah, we didn't have time to grieve because we're all kids. We're all we're all in secondary school, so we didn't have time to grieve. We just moved on and also continued in laughter. So we laughed all through. Wow. So I never grieved. I never grieved my parents. I never did until life now happened. The first challenge I ever had.
Suppressed emotions.
Oh, yes. And not until what happened to me happened, I then realized that I was very needy. I found out that the kind of relationship I was having was because of, the lack of my father and my mother's, the lack of the love that I didn't receive from them. So I was needy. I was always, you can't, so I became very needy, and I went into relationships. I put him all in all my relationships. It was interesting to know that I also converted into a Muslim. A serious Muslim for 2 years. I was a serious Muslim. I was hitting my head on the ground. I was praying. I can still recite the Quran till now. And that is because I saw the guy I was dating as a father figure. And I realized all my life, I dated men that were older, much older. I eventually married somebody that isn't older than me. You know, so I found myself, you know, in that needy, looking for a father figure. So I dated all the guys I was dating then were either older guys or married guys, you know. And until life happened, while I was in school, I got pregnant. I was in university, I got pregnant, and I got pregnant for a married man. And the guy was not just a married man, he was a very old man that would have been probably, no, let me not crack this joke. He's not my grandfather. He would have just been my father. And I was then lost. I didn't know what to do. Became confused because the guy was also, you know, is very rich. So I didn't want that name. Oh, because he's rich, that was why she got pregnant. And you know, so I decided to carry the pregnancy. And while I thought I had friends, I thought I had people that will surround me, you know, because when they also, my friends, also when they also got pregnant, I was there for them. But of course, they decided to abort theirs. I couldn't abort mine. I didn't abort mine because I was born again. I wasn't born again. I couldn't abort mine because I was afraid of abortion. I just felt, you know, I thought I was going to die. So I couldn't just get rid of mine. So I carried mine, you know, and then it became a stigma. My friends all disappeared. It looked as if I was carrying a plague. Nobody was there. I suffered another form of rejection. So it was in this place of rejection, this one was the last one, you know, that, you know, and I later, like I said to the warriors, that I believe, you know, when you said, it made a statement, and I was going to say, I have a different opinion. Everything that happens in my life has already been predestined to happen.
Oh, yes.
So nothing happens in my life by mistakes. No. The major reason why I went through everything I went through was because God needed me to go through them to become who I am today.
Absolutely.
So I celebrate all my setbacks, because if not, I wouldn't have been built up the way I am today. I wouldn't have been confident.
Our life is we've been predestinated.
Thank you. So at that time, I had to I went through all these things I went through, and eventually I found God. That was when I found God, and I embraced God, and I never turned back. So that's how my journey started. But I had challenges, even when I found God. So I needed to say this because some people will just feel, oh, since I gave my life to Christ, since I've given my life to Christ, it's supposed to be all rosy. No, God never promised us that the journey was going to be smooth. All right. So first I gave my life to Christ, and guess what? The challenges began. The challenges began. I thought, okay, probably when I get married, it's going to solve
the problem.
You know, for where it now became, you know, I faced a major hit that took me right into depression. And also I became suicidal. That was the picture I shared. That picture was me in my husband's house. It wasn't me before I married. So some of you that think that marriage will give you happiness, I want to bust your bubbles. But here I got into this marriage, and I really wanted all. I gave my all. But I was rejected. I don't want to mention names, you know, so I'm just trying to be careful because I know some certain personalities are here. I know you guys are here. Welcome. Welcome, guys. You know, so warriors, when I say personality, they understand. My people understand. They know, you know, so I will just flow with me.
Absolutely.
So while I got into the marriage, I didn't know I had a stumbling block, and had this major personality that never accepted me. And then she brought me to a place where I began to question my sanity. She made me feel as if I was the reason why my parents died. The first time in my life ever, I heard somebody telling me, why don't you have a father? Why don't you have a mother? And I'm like,
wow.
And I was also angry with God. If you know that, then why did you take my father? No, as if everybody has father and mother except me. Because that was the way I was meant to feel and to think. So it was so deep that it ate me in, and I bore the spirit of bitterness and unforgiveness. It will interest you to know that I was already very born again. The born again that I was didn't have part two.
It was a serious one.
I was so born again that I thought my answer was to pray MFM prayers.
Come on now.
So I got these MFM books, and I was engaging in serious fast, 40 days fast, 100 days fast, dry fast, wet fast, one day, just to make sure that me and this devil, I will kill you. The more I was fasting, the more I was drying up. I started drying up until I started to lose my beauty. I started to lose my complexion. That is the pictures I shared there. I shrank. When you see me, you think I had HIV/AIDS. And all the while, I look at myself. That picture, I went to church. I was going to church. Can't you see that? I even put glass. I put my glass for the head. That's to tell you that I never... the devil is a bastard. Do you know that I never knew that was what I looked like? I was also, I was showing up in church. I was praying. I was in the service group, but yet I didn't see myself. I didn't know that I was harboring bitterness and unforgiveness, and it was eating me up until I stumbled, on this book written by Joyce Meyer, something that has to do with forgiveness. And I read her story, and she shared how, I think she said her father raped her or something.
Yes.
And how she harbored unforgiveness and the journey she went through until she eventually released herself. And that was when I learned that I needed to release myself, for me to receive, back my beauty, and also for me to receive from God. Now, I'm saying this because I know there are a lot of people here that have been hurt one way or the other. Whether it is rape, whether it's emotional abuse, sexual abuse, psychological abuse, whatever abuse that you are suffering. I want you to know that you need to let go of your abuser. You need to forgive them from within. You just need to let them go.
Absolutely.
No matter how much you ask God to take vengeance, God will not show up. Because you know what? The Bible says that God wishes above all that all men get saved, including your enemy.
Yes, ma'am.
God is also wishing that your enemy gets saved.
Absolutely.
That's one. And the same Bible says that God chooses to bless who he wants to bless and curse who he wants to curse. But listen, while I was busy praying for God to take vengeance on those people that hurt me, that I was holding grudges against, I saw them prospering. I saw them being elevated. I saw them balling, having good time, enjoying life. And the more I saw them enjoy life, the more I was shrinking. I was shrinking. And I didn't understand what was happening until I read that book. Now, that was the book that brought my deliverance. That day, I said the devil. That's where I started calling the devil a bastard. Because how can he keep me in this bondage? So I harbored unforgiveness. I harbored bitterness against those that hurt me. And while I sat down to meditate on that book, I found out that I was only concentrating. I thought the only problem I had was with that personality as of that time. When I sat down to list where my pains were coming from, what? I started seeing my friends, all my friends that were mocking me in school, that spread the news that I was pregnant. All of them were in that list. I started seeing them. So I began to open up my mouth and screaming, I release you. I was calling them by their names. I was releasing them. I fought. It was a fight of faith.
Absolutely.
And now, right there, the Holy Spirit said to me that, it's not a deliverance for myself that I'm going to get in a day. That it has to be gradual, because there's a scripture that says he will drive them away little by little. So it took me coming all the time in the altar, releasing forgiveness, releasing until I don't even know when. Till day, if you ask me, how did you eventually? I don't know. I just found out that I had peace. I found out that my beauty began to restore. I found out that everything started falling in place. My business started. Okay, that was even before I started my business. The vision of my business came up.
Wow.
It will interest you to know that I'm just trying to give you all the challenges. So that's one. I had this while I was still harboring this unforgiveness, this spirit of bitterness and unforgiveness from people that hurt me in the past. I thought I had God. So I ventured into my first business. And I knew I had God. I knew God said something about clothing, but I didn't know
exactly what it was.
So the very first business I launched into was all the way, to tell you I have what Igbo people call it, Anyuku. Igbo people, Anyuku is like big eyes.
Okay.
I love to dream big. I'm a dreamer. It has always been like that. I don't settle for less. I know they do small things. I do big things. Can imagine me taking women to Singapore. I like to do big things.
So
I don't
Singapore,
do local things.
here we come. Singapore,
But it's a mentality. It's a mentality. So when God gave me that vision, the first thing I did was to come to the UK. I went to the UK. My friends, I don't know whether they were here. I belonged to a group, run by one amazing lady, Sister Valentine and Jola, and it's called Sisters Standing in Gap. That was on Facebook. So I met some amazing women there, and a lot of them were living in the UK. So when I thought I had God, so I had to go all the way to London to go do show.
Wow.
So I had this show I called Niger Swag. So I got all the designers that was close to here in Lagos to make the outfits, and in Abuja. So I took them to London to go and sell. By the time I got into London, that was when they had this crisis in London that they said a Nigerian guy shot a soldier somewhere. I can't really remember that. So, but that was the same area where the event was meant to hold.
Wow.
So because of that, there was a curfew. So we couldn't have my event. So it was a failed vision. Then we had a time when my husband was sent to Bangladesh, so we lived there for a year. So while we were in Bangladesh, I discovered that majority of the designer labels make their clothes in Bangladesh because of cheap labor, because they make their clothes from the factories. And in these factories, they have what they call factory rejects. And the factory rejects are after sorting out the orders from the designers, whatever is left, some are damaged, some are not damaged. They pack everything and keep in a storehouse where their primary assignment is that after some years, after a year or so, they're meant to send it to as charities. They send it to all these charity places abroad. So I got an ink to that, and through my connection, I was able to get those factory rejects. I brought in 2 massive containers in Lagos. I went to Lagos market I got all my Igbo brothers to all come and carry, you know, to sell and come and, when they said, they come and give me money, till dates. I never even see the people who carry it.
Wow.
They did not just carry the goods, they also carried the container.
Wow.
Somebody, when they finish, say, I will take the container, I will bring the money. That's how Igbo boys did me for one night. They all failed business, failed vision, until I gave out forgiveness. You know why I kept on failing? Because I was harboring bitterness and unforgiveness. And it is not just a disease. It's cancer.
It is.
Absolutely. So that stood as a, you know, as a barrier to my breakthrough. When I released forgiveness, the heavens just opened like a dream of the night. And there I got a clear vision concerning the NHN Couture. And then we started. And in less than 3 months, we blew. And from there, God opened other doors. Right? That's NHN, this NHN Couture. I don't know what other designers are doing. So, but one day I'm going to hold a seminar. I want to speak to my fellow designers, the startups. Yeah. You know, when we start, there's always this assignment, excitement that everybody's patronizing us. Yeah. But the question is, are you saving? What I notice with Nigerians is that they don't save. Nigerians don't save.
We just pew.
Because I can't understand how somebody will run a business and still want to borrow money. I don't get it. I don't understand. I have never borrowed one dime from the bank or from anybody. While I was running NHN Couture, 3 years in NHN Couture, I did not buy a property. I bought an estate in Abuja.
Wow.
And I have properties in Dubai. Why I was running NHN. Then while we're still in this same vision, God now moved, because God trusts me, because, you know, the NHN brand is, like I said, is a faith brand. Everything I make from there also goes in the propagation of the gospel of Jesus Christ. So you see me hiring luxurious buses to take people to church. You see me, you know, I've sponsored Shiloh twice on my local here in Victoria Island. For those two years, that's NHN brand, not my husband. No, NHN brand. You know, so I do things. I sow seeds. So God trusts me with wealth, with his finances. So that's why he opened doors for me. So when I started the NHN war, from nowhere, one day, you know, I had this call 6 years ago. I had a call, you know, from some amazing ladies, and they begged to see me. And when I met with them, there were 9 of them. They were looking for a 10th person to join them. And that's how I joined this group. And all that group, they do is investments. All they do is investments. So I also encourage people to look for tribes of, you know, you can never say you're a loner. It doesn't happen. So if you don't, for me right now, I'm the youngest in isolation. I'm the youngest in that tribe. They're older women. They're older women. These are women that run things. I was sharing with the warriors the other time. Last year, before the end of last year, one of those women bought private jets. And she put them like the way they run Okada. Yeah. So it's there in the whichever anger she called it, you know, because that's what she calls it, anger. Me, I don't know what it is, you know. Everybody gets a level, you know. But one thing those women have taught me is delayed gratification. It taught me delayed gratification. And these women are not on social media. They don't wear bone streets. As I speak to you, I'm the only one that used to. That's why you see me now, because I need to look like them.
Look like
They don't wear bone streets. In fact, they fitted their hair. One has a low cut. These women don't wear branded clothes. Maybe they do. I know, I don't know.
They are not
you know, they have some brands that they don't see the logo. You don't see them, you know. If you see them in any function, you will just see their modest shoe and bag, you know. But these women are running things. These women run things quietly. That's when I understood that the rich don't make noise.
No.
It is poverty mentality that is making people like me with coconut head to be making noise everywhere and disturbing social media. So basically, you know, I went through stages in my life, and one thing the only thing I want to share today, and I've shared, is that the root of my challenges came from the place of bitterness and unforgiveness.
You know, and that is so important. You know, what you said about those negative emotions. You know, medical research has proven that between 75 to 90% of the physical diseases that we have in our physical body is as a result of negative emotions. So you go through trauma, then you have about the anger, the bitterness, the rage, the shame, the guilt, all of those negative emotions, you just trap them on your inside. And also, it has been proven medically that when you have pain in different parts of your body, it's as a result of a negative emotions that you're dealing with on your inside.
Yeah.
Right. And you know, if you have, for instance, you constantly have irritable bowel syndrome, you have stomach problem, it means you are carrying unforgiveness, constipation.
Oh, yes.
You know, you are holding people inside of you. It affects you physically.
Yeah, it does.
Now, when
it does.
You have pain on your shoulder,
yes,
it means that you are carrying the burden of a spouse
wow.
or a child.
Hey, he's making sense. He's
Mama,
making sense. He's making sense. Talk to me.
Yes, you are. But you know what happened to me? I shared my story so many times, you know, and I'm going to talk about something quickly in a minute before I ask you the next question. I went through 16 years of domestic violence and abuse. And in that 16 years, at a point in that relationship, I had cancer. Guess where the cancer was? On my shoulder. There were 3 cancerous tumors that grew on my shoulder. And I had the operation done at Royal Marsden Hospital here in London. And the surgeon said to me, we've, been doing this job for years and years and years. We have never removed cancer from anybody's shoulder.
I was shocked when you told me when you came to Lagos. I said, cancer at the shoulder. I've never heard of it.
That is a weird place for cancerous tumors to grow. In fact, they had to, because there was really no flesh, like, you know how your shoulder is, they had to take a graft from my thigh to put on it to cover it up. Because I was carrying the burden of a
spouse.
Now, when I talk about negative emotions trapped on your inside, see, 3 John 2 says, I wish above all things that you prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. Your soul consists of your will, your mind, and your emotions. And when you get hurt, it happens in the realm of your emotions. Yes. You carry that wound, that pain, that shame, that guilt, that anger.
Yes.
And it's controlling and affecting every other area of your life. Look, holding people in unforgiveness, you are not doing that person harm. You are not harming that person. You are harming yourself.
The devil is a bastard.
You are hurting yourself.
Honestly.
You are doing, like they will say in Nigeria, you are doing yourself. So I say to people, the best gift you can give to yourself is to heal. Is to excel.
Yeah.
Is to, because look, the best revenge, like they say, is just to succeed.
That's all.
The energy that you're using to be angry, when you hear the person's name,
Hey.
Can I also say this? You know, I was going to say, I'm just going to finish when you're talking about that you are praying for somebody that God doesn't hear those prayers.
Doesn't hear those kind of prayers. I didn't know.
You know how I knew. If you've not watched the Shark, I will encourage you to go and watch it.
Yeah, I've watched it.
Anybody has not watched it, go and watch it. When I watched, because I struggle to forgive, you know, I mean, this was somebody that abused me for 16 years. I mean, the role of a husband is supposed to be XYZ. We know, love and cherish. But then I had the opposite. I had the physical abuse, the verbal abuse, sexual abuse, I must say. I had emotional abuse, psychological abuse, everything. I was suicidal. I took overdose. I wanted to kill myself and die. It was horrible. Now you're telling me to forgive that person. It's hard.
It's hard.
I'm not going to lie to you.
That's the hardest
thing. It was difficult.
Yeah.
But I knew I had to do it, not for me.
Yes.
Not for that person, rather, but for
you.
And I knew that I couldn't be saying that maybe something bad should happen to this person. When I watched that, I watched the movie. I think it was the third time I watched it.
Yeah.
That was when I received the grace to just exhale and let go.
Let's go.
Because I realized that all of us were children of God.
That's right.
If you have
including
two
them,
children, and one of your child does something bad to the other child, both of them are your children. And yes, what the child A did was bad to child B. And child B comes and says, Mommy, you have to kill child A. Look at what he did to me. He did this to me. Look at my... And it's true. Maybe your hand is even bleeding. That child A did. You're not going to say, yes, actually, I'm going to kill you. No, because you won't kill child A because it's still
your child.
So, Lord, Father, die. You are just exercising. You are just your throat. You need water. And when the Bible says, vengeance is mine, I will repay.
I will repay. Hey! Do you know you need to release forgiveness for vengeance to take place? If you don't release forgiveness, vengeance cannot take place.
It cannot take place. You are the one that is trying to do it. God will leave you alone now.
Yes, there's a scripture in the Bible that says that you need to release forgiveness for you to receive forgiveness. I think is the Lord's Prayer or something. In fact, so God, continue.
I was going to say that with Job, it was when Job forgave his friends, that's when God restored his fortune.
That's all.
That was when God restored his fortune.
A lot of our testimonies and miracles are held back from bitterness and unforgiveness.
Absolutely.
And we
you see,
need to give, because if you don't give, no matter how you pray, God is not going to hear your prayer, because already you've offended God. Because that's what it means. If you do not release forgiveness, it says that you will not receive forgiveness. That means you're walking in the realm of disobedience.
Absolutely.
And if you're walking in the realm of disobedience, then God, you have no business with God. If you like, fast. If you like, do whatever you want to do. You will wait and tire. But if you ask me, will God take vengeance? My answer is yes, because I have seen it. Especially if the enemy is unrepentant. If that enemy is unrepentant, God will take vengeance only if you allow him. And the only way you can allow him to do that is for you to release forgiveness. You need to release forgiveness. When you release forgiveness, then God comes in and then fights for you and gives you vengeance.
Absolutely.
That's my story. I've seen everyone that have hurt me, that have released forgiveness. I've seen them go through unthinkable and unmeasurable things. I've seen it.
Absolutely.
I've seen it.
It just
I've
happened.
seen it. So I know I'm confident. I'm a living testimony. So if in case you're here and you're still harboring unforgiveness, still carrying unforgiveness, you need to let go. You are depriving. That is why you are broke. That's why your business is not growing. That's why you are from, the devourer is always around you, paying for hospital bill, entering one sickness or the other. That's why you're experiencing barrenness. That's why you're experiencing stagnation.
I'm seeing some people putting some questions there, and what I'm going to say to you, look, so forgiveness is part of a journey of soul healing, right? Healing from the trauma of your past, right? And if you don't take that step, it is a step, a decision to say, I'm going to heal. When you heal, right, forgiveness comes as part of the package of healing. Now, I have a boot camp coming up. It's actually starting tomorrow. And tonight, I'm going to be giving a 40% discount to everyone that registers. I'm going to teach you how I let go, how I healed, and how I forgave. Because look, it is not easy. And somebody is there, how do you forgive somebody that is not there? How do you forgive? There's an how to it. There is how to it. Now, the boot camp is for 3 days, right? Ideally, it's $100, but with the discount, you only pay $60. And that's like giveaway, free, to go through those 3 days, right? Because what we're going to be doing is we're going to be helping you exhale all those negative emotions that you have carried on your inside. because it's not helping you. It's hurting your body.
Yeah.
It's affecting the relationships in your life. You are self-sabotaging. You are looking at everybody else with the eyes of the person that hurt you, and you're not moving forward. You're not advancing.
You can't advance.
So you need to excel. Now you need to rediscover yourself.
Yeah.
Because trauma distorts your identity. I posted a picture, a throwback video on my page this morning when I was dancing at Mama's birthday. And I was like, when I was in that traumatic state, I didn't even know that that part of me existed. I was withdrawn. I was into myself. I was shy because the trauma distorted my identity. I didn't know who I was. So we're going to help you begin to rediscover yourself. And why do I say you need to heal? Look, you carry value. That's one of my people. Everybody is a value carrier because God created you. And He says, before you were formed in your mother's womb, I knew you and I ordained you.
And you are predestined for greatness.
Means that I put something on your hand. Because if I say I'm ordaining this person as a bishop, I'm saying they're going to be functioning in the office of a bishop. They'll be doing the job of a bishop. So it puts something on your inside, and your world is waiting for you. Your world is waiting. And so what I'm going to be teaching you, taking you through those 3 days, a journey of excelling, inhaling peace and tranquility, discarding of all the negative emotions. You're going to inhale positive emotions that will make you healthy, spiritual and body. And then what are we going to do? We're going to start helping you discover your who and also relational intelligence, because a lot of us, because of our trauma, we just don't know how to handle people. We don't know how to handle relationships. We mess up relationships in our lives because we're transferring the hurts from our past to somebody in the future. And a lot of people that have gone through childhood trauma, they are struggling to form healthy relationships as an adult. You need to heal. That is the best gift you can give to yourself. Sometimes people will send a message, Coach Jola, I want therapy, but I don't have money. How can you help me? I'm like, see, where your heart is, there your treasure will be. When you understand that the prosperity of your soul is the foundation of the prosperity of every other area of it. I talked about the former Miss Carolina that committed suicide a few years ago. What happened to her? She had a trauma, and she felt that because I was achieving things, I was doing things, to cover up. But it was still down there. Yeah. It's like if you're in a house and people keep your house gets dirty and you keep sweeping everything under the carpet in your house, like they say, but literally think about it, all the dirt, you sweep it under your couch, anything under your couch. You have children, they're under your couch. One day, you will start seeing maggots. The place will start smelling. People will stop coming to your house because your house is not smelling. That's how it is with some of us that have gone through trauma, and we have covered it up, telling ourselves that, oh, time will heal. Time alone doesn't heal. You have to be intentional about your healing. And I say I'm passionate about the health and the healing of the soul because I know what it is to be in that dark place. I know what it is to live beyond your potential. I know what it is not to have any esteem at all. And by the grace of God, I know what it is to be confident, to be healed, and to be fulfilling purpose. Right. And so I want to take you from that place where you are to this place where you're supposed to be. And you can do it. So go to my bio right now. Click on the link. The link is in my bio. For the 40% discount, you only pay $60 instead of $100. If you know anybody that needs this, also gives this to them, right? So that they can heal. Because it's important for them to heal. Sometimes people think that, oh, I can't see the soul wound. If you feel, and you know one thing I discovered, Mama NHN, is that especially we Christians, we invalidate our emotional pain. That's right. We say, no, I'm not supposed to feel bad, though. I'm not supposed to, why am I feeling like that? If I didn't know what happened to me, at the point when I exited the relationships, I was clinically depressed. So they put me on medication after I left. Wow. And just because of all the Christianese around me, I was feeling bad that I was taking antidepressants. And so I just stopped. I said, it is well with me in Jesus' name. And then I realized that I went all the way down to a very dark place. That literally would be walking on the road and I will go to, I want to jump in front of a car. I will be at the train station. I will want to jump in front of the train. I just wanted to die. And so a friend of mine saw me one day walking around and said, this is not my Jola. Why are you looking at me? What's wrong with you? I was gone inside. And she said, come, I'll take you to a fellowship tomorrow. And then we went to the fellowship, we were talking, they were praying. I was telling them that yesterday I was suicidal, blah, blah, blah. And then we finished. And then they introduced us to the leaders of the group. And there was one man there say, "Oh, this is Doctor so. I'm a psychiatrist, blah, blah, blah." And the moment I heard that, the Holy Spirit said, "Go and sit and talk to him." I said, "Sir, this is my situation. This is what happened." He said, "Hey?" He said, "Do you still have your medication?" I said, "Yes." I said, "Tonight, when you get home, start taking your medication." He said, "Look at me. I'm a pastor. I'm also a psychiatrist. And I've treated pastors that have psychosis. Psychosis is what we call in Nigeria madness, crazy. I have treated it." He said, "Depression is a chemical imbalance inside your brain. And the medication is just there to help you balance it back. And you won't be on it for long. As long as you follow the process and you get your therapy done, you do everything you're supposed to do, you will come off it. But at this point in time, you are not reviewed. You're not." That was it for me. Like a pastor telling me that, giving me that, I was like, oh. Because sometimes we feel, so if you're walking on the road and you fall down, God forbid, and your legs start bleeding, and they come and say, let's help you. He said, no, don't worry, don't worry. I'm a Christian. I'm a Christian. No, I'm a Christian. There's no pain. I can't feel any pain. No. Christian, feel pain in my leg. No. What is bleeding? No, don't help me. I'm a child of God. Okay? I cannot feel pain. I'm immune to pain. Hello, how are you? No. So if you feel pain physically, you will feel pain emotionally. So it is okay not to be okay. It is okay to heal from the pain of your past. Because if you don't heal, you will bleed on people who did not cut you. You will live a miserable life. Now, I want to ask you this. No, that's not the time. That cannot be the time, Mama. We just started now, 5 minutes ago.
I'm looking at you. Why?
Okay, let me ask you one last question. Now, sometimes I wrote a book recently, Rise Above Your Past, and I talked about the past that sometimes is you find yourself in it. It just happened to you. And then some other times, the hurtful past happened because of something you did. You made a mistake. So I want to ask you, in your journey of life, have you ever made a mistake? If so, tell us about it and how you came out of it. Because some people, they've never made a mistake. They are perfect. So I
made a mistake now.
Check.
I made a mistake. Let me do confession. I did plenty mistake. I made a mistake. First of all, like I said, I usually start from the beginning, the very beginning. I lived a very wayward life.
Sorry, let me just add to that question so I don't. So, and then on top of that, have you ever gotten to a point in your life where you just wanted to give up? Like, I'm not doing it again. Yes. So just join the two answers together.
So I lived a very wayward life. I wasn't born again. I was a party girl. I was sleeping with men, married men. I was bad. I wasn't just that. I was a pimp. The Hausas call it Magagia. I grew up in the north. So I led a lot of girls to hell. Now, you see this energy you see me exhibiting the world, making sure that I partner with Christ to get so saved. That was what I used to do. The opposite was what I used to do when I wasn't born again. So I was carrying girls, organizing them for parties, give them to men, and all that. So I really did some bad things, right? So I'm not going to say, yes. In fact, yes. What I went through was because of my sin. Was also, my sin was part of it. It was what led to it now. So, because it makes no sense for me to go, now runs, now I go runs, now I can't get belay. You get it? So, it was a mistake, but right now I'm saved. So I don't see it like a mistake anymore. My husband says, there is no star without a scar. Now my scar be that I don't carry him. All right. So that's one.
There's no
And then the
star.
other
There's no
person
star without
is
a scar. I
scar.
love that.
Yeah. There's no star. My bishop says that a lot. But it's one of the things my husband uses to, whenever he wants to encourage me, he will say there's no star without a scar. So yes, I have made a lot of mistakes, and also mistakes in my business. I've made taken wrong decisions in investments as well. There's this investment I made, and first of all, I was just sitting in my shop where I don't want to mention them because I'm sure she's here. They entered my shop, and she came with her group of people. I came to markets then, then what they call them again, MMM or FFF, what they call them.
MMN.
They came to market it for me. And because of the people that came, I bought into it, and I dived in some millions. And that's how the whole thing today. I don't even want to give myself any. I can't just explain what happened. So yes, I've made some wrong decisions. I've made some very horrible decisions, and I faced, the challenges that came with it. Then, have I ever been in a situation that I was so depressed and all I think about was to die? My answer was yes. The first one was when I was pregnant and everybody ran away from me. I had no friends. All my friends took off. I became very ashamed. I was in a very dark place. I wanted to kill myself and also kill the baby that was inside of me. So I was suicidal. I began to, because I didn't have access, or maybe I didn't have liver to take rat poison. I don't know. But the best I could do was to starve myself. So I was pregnant and I was starving myself. I didn't eat for months.
Wow.
I wasn't eating. I just wanted to die. Before I stumbled on a book called Woman That Had Lose by T.D. Jakes. That was what brought me deliverance.
Wow.
So I've been there. The second time I was suicidal was when this personality in my marriage, wanted to frustrate my life. She made it very, very clear that I was not wanted. And this is why it got me to the place where it got me because before I was proposed to, this person was like, I didn't know the love they were showing to me was fake. A small thing, NK, up to the extent I had to come. I was doing my youth service. They sent for me. This particular person was very ill, and I was one carrying her to bathe her. She would poo in my hand. So at the time when she was told that, oh, I was the chosen one, she couldn't fathom it. She bluntly came, called me, asked me to kneel down. She did everything she could do to frustrate me to leave. So I couldn't understand it, because where I'm coming from, I grew up in the north. Me, I don't see all those kinds of things. And I'm being honest. Where I grew up in the north, I didn't see hatred. I didn't see it. Because, in the north, not now, they accept even those that live with their co-wives. They live together. Everybody lives together in one compound. And even if you're harboring anger or jealousy or envy over the other wife, nobody seems to know it. We don't see it. Okay. So I grew up in an environment where you see everybody. You see a family with the children, their stepchildren, all of them sit down, together to eat. They all eat together in one big plate. So they were my neighbors. So when I came into Lagos, and that's when I noticed that there was something called jealousy and envy. And bitterness and all that. So it really messed up with my head. My heart was hurting because my heart was broken. So my chest was hurting.
Yeah.
That was how bad it was, you know. Then the thought of that person, whatever, the person sat me down, cursed me. Imagine somebody telling you to kneel down, and she began to pour curses on you, you know.
That's abuse that is
And
highest
ask you, where's
order.
your mother? Where's your mother? You know, things like that. So it took me to a place of, you know, it was an emotional abuse. It was horrible.
Very
It was
traumatic.
horrible. And it was so horrible that, man. And as of that time, I really didn't have anything. The only thing I had was just my little girl. You know, I hadn't had my son then. So, and I just felt, wow. And then she was being taken care of. So I said, this one, let me just go, please. I can't be experiencing. I thought, God, I said, you said you're forgiving me. I thought this thing we are doing this. What's all this? So I was suicidal at that time. And I tried taking my life. I tried taking my life until I stumbled on that book again called by Joyce Meyer this time around. And that was what delivered me.
Awesome.
So yes.
Wow. Thank you so much, you know, for tonight. This has been phenomenal. I can't believe that we've been talking for nearly 90 minutes now.
With me. Don't say my, I don't even talk anything. Say,
I know.
Warriors. Warriors, they know. Me that he said anything. I don't, let me tell you why I don't go to platforms. Because I know they do 1 hour. My story is not a 1 hour story.
No.
My story is not 2 hour story. That's why I don't go to, when people invite me to platforms, I can't do 30 minutes. What do you want me to say?
We're just starting. We're just laughing. We can laugh. We're just laughing for 30 minutes.
So,
after that, we're not
the warriors are used to me. They know that this thing we have, there's an, after you do training,
and that's
we have
great.
extension.
That's great.
Thank you so much, Jola. Thank you so much. The Lord bless you.
You know,
please, warriors, make sure you register. Make sure you register. You need to register so you'll be able to learn on how to let go. All right, life is a process. You need somebody to help you. You know, in my own case, you know, at that time I didn't have this opportunity, you know, that you have, that there are coaches, people to teach you on how to overcome this. Probably maybe I won't have suffered the way I suffered. I won't have looked that ugly the way I looked, the picture I posted for you people. So in case you're here and you truly want to let go, you need to speak to someone. Please register. It's just $60. $60. See if you know what this will do for you and save you. Like I said, you will not experience breakthrough until you release forgiveness. So you need to learn on how to let go. All right? The Lord bless you all in Jesus' name. I love and celebrate every one of you. Thank you, Coach Jola.
Thank you so much, Mama.
Thank you so much.
Before I let you go, tell me, if you are going to give your younger self one advice or one counsel, what will it be?
Thank you. My younger self is, I have my younger self now. I have my daughter. You're basically asking me, what do I tell Ruth? Serve God, know God early. Know God early. I wish I knew God early than I did. It will interest you that everybody around me were saved. Even my best friends that were joining me in the crime, they got saved, and I refused to get saved. And it would have saved me from all this trouble I went through. So know God and know God early. And you can start now. You might just say, it's too late. It's not too late. You can start right now. That's all.
Wow. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. It's been phenomenal having you.
Thanks so much, guys.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I have gleaned so much tonight. My notes are full. You know, talking about everything that's, you know, your experience, you know, the knowledge of God. Family comes first, you know, understanding the times and the seasons, following your heart, you know, saving. You talked about saving. You know, I know one thing I realized about that sometimes we want to prove something by what we're wearing to prove that I'm important, I'm this, but it also sometimes is because you're wounded inside, you don't feel good about yourself, and you feel you need something external to make you feel good.
Exactly.
There was a
See, I
time,
tell them in the world,
there was
if that's just
this
it.
shoe. There's this shoe that they wear. I think it's Dr. Martens shoe. That shoe that teenagers wear.
Yeah.
I saw the shoes. Me, I didn't even know that shoe. I just saw it and I liked it. This is nice. I loved it because it was during the raining season. So I bought the shoe, and then my nieces saw me. I was like, "Oh, auntie, well, the shoe is really nice. Is it Dr. Martens? Is it original?" I said, "Is it original?" I said, "Me, I'm original. Anything I wear is original." Because sometimes you feel you go use your credit card to buy something you cannot afford, so that when you wear it, they will know that, me too, I'm there.
Yeah.
Hello, how are you? Who cares?
It's low self-esteem, and people are going through a lot of things.
A lot of things.
So they use these things to cover up. So it's a sign. When you see yourself, wanting to prove to others, or wanting to force yourself to be seen, that there's something going on. You need to see Coach Jola.
Absolutely, yes. So, guys, go to my bio, and tomorrow is the
Coach Jola.
day. 3 days soul healing boot camp. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody. I see all your questions. I will take them at the boot camp tomorrow. How to heal, how to forgive, how to know whether you've healed, how to know whether you've forgiven. Somebody says, if I forgive, do I need that I should relate with the person again? No,
No, but go to
number
boot camp.
one, you don't. I was still telling someone this evening, there's something like forgive and forget, because if you forget, then that means you have amnesia, and then what's going to happen is you're going to do the same thing that you did that caused you that hurt. Exactly. And then it's going to be a circle. It's like you having somebody working in your organization, and the person maybe is your accountant, and the person stole your money, embezzled your money, and then you call the police, come and carry this person, and the person is locked up, and then you are begging, please, the family begging, so sorry, forgive me, let's go. And I say, okay, I discharge, I forgive him, release him, and then I'm not doing the case again and all of that. And then the person comes to the office the following day. I say, good morning, madam, I'm here to resume my duty as your accountant.
Not to faint.
What will you do? You say, okay, go. No, you say, security. Which job?
It.
What?
How?
No, I say I've discharged you, I've released you. We're not pursuing the case again. Yes. Well, uncle, there's no job for you here.
None at all.
Because I've forgiven you. Yes. But you ain't coming back into my space.
Not at all, Abba. And that's the mistake a lot of people would make. They just use, these especially Christians. They say, they think forgiveness means that you forgive and then you still become vulnerable, and for you to receive more hurt. A hurting person will still hurt you if they don't repent. So you don't let them in. Do you know what it means for someone to hurt you in the first place? The person doesn't have your good at heart. So he's the person to even think about hurting you. That means the person's aim is to kill you.
Exactly, that's what I was going to say. The person doesn't mind you dying for them to get what they want.
It's to kill you. So when you allow them in again, next one.
No.
They will hit you this time, and it's so bad you won't survive it.
Absolutely.
So it's not mandatory. If it depends though, if your heart you are still, if you feel uncomfortable, please don't go back. When I shut doors, I don't open. That's the way I am. My husband will tell you, I don't look back. I don't go back to my vomits. I don't. When I turn my back, I have turned my back, and I've turned it for good.
No,
Diva. I don't harbor any unforgiveness. I don't have any bitterness. But you will never have access. There is no more access. It shuts down.
Absolutely. Setting boundaries. Awesome. So guys, I'll see you all tomorrow, okay, at the boot camp. Like I said, the link is in my bio. Good night, Mama. Thank you so much. The link is in my bio. Go to my bio, go and register for the boot camp. For tomorrow is going to be virtual, so you can join from anywhere you are in the world, okay? So so I just put the flyer there, okay? So go to my bio, We're going to help you detox negative emotions from your soul. You're going to heal from every kind of trauma and abuse. You're going to regain your self-esteem and rediscover and reinvent yourself for an excellent life. Like I say, like, you carry value. There's something special on your inside that God has put there for you. Yes, absolutely. I've forgiven you, but I'm not giving you access. No access, because I understand that. See, your vulnerability, I talked about vulnerability, I think about 2 weeks ago. I said vulnerability is a gift, even though you cannot be vulnerable to everybody, right? Because you understand that people can take your vulnerability and use it against you. And sometimes you get hurt because you become vulnerable too quickly. So you meet somebody, and then the next minute you are telling them everything about your life, your grandma's history. You're telling them that your great grandfather left you 1 billion naira, and you're so vulnerable. And then they take advantage of you, and you're like, oh, I trusted this person. No, you did not test that relationship. You became vulnerable too quickly. And so it's about there's something that I think we will probably touch on it at this Soul Healing Bootcamp, common relationship mistakes. And one of it is displaced vulnerability. There are some people you should be never vulnerable with. You should never be vulnerable with them, right? And you need to understand those people you can be vulnerable with. You know, while I was going through my own personal journey of soul healing and reinvention, when I talk about rise above your past in my book, the second thing I said you need to do in rising above your past is to investigate the past. Investigate the past. What happened? How did I get to this place? How did I make this mistake? I mean, I need to understand, because in understanding that, you can elicit your lessons and make sure you don't find yourself in the same situation again. One of the things I elicited, right, when I was investigating my past, was that I did not know who the person was. I only knew what the person represented. So I said there's a difference between your who and your what. So if people around you are around you for your what, you can't be vulnerable to them. So what is your what? You're a bishop. You are an MD. You are a CEO. You are the chairman. Your uncle is Bill Gates. Your auntie is the owner of Instagram. I'm just that's just an example. There's something about you, right, that these people look at, and that is why they are relating with you. Now, these are people that are in your life for your what. Now, your what is different from your who. Your who is your personality, who you are on the inside, right? Your personality, that is your who. And a lot of times we get into relationships and we don't know who the person is. We need to know what the person is. And by the time so for me, by the time I started knowing the who of the person, it was already too late for me. I knew the what, and I thought in my head the what was good enough. The what was going to sustain the marriage. The what was going to be. No, until I realized that no. This person's what? Yes, they might be occupying this position. They might be called this and called that, but that is not who they are. Who they are. I say to people that the number one cause of conflict in relationships is disalignment of values. Disalignment of values. When we don't have the same value, the Bible says, can two work together except they agree? How do we see things? How do we perceive things? How do we interpret situations? If somebody's value is peace, somebody else, they might not value peace. And so if there's conflict, if there's disagreements in that relationship, the person that doesn't value peace thinks that, let me just slap you, let me just shout, let me just this. That is the way, I want to resolve my conflicts. The other person believes in peace and tranquility. So they're like, come, let's talk about it. What happened? Let's actually have a conversation about what happened. But because both of you don't share the same value, there's a problem. There's a problem there. So it is so important for you. And how do you know who somebody is? By their values. Elicit their values. We're going to be looking at values at the boot camp. So I want to encourage everyone that's not registered. Tonight there's a 40% discount. So instead of $100, you only pay $60, and that's for tonight alone. So go to my bio, click on the link in my bio, and register. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Soul Healing Bootcamp tomorrow. Starting tomorrow is 3 days and it's virtual. Yes, absolutely. Work on your trauma before you get married. Work It's 3 days. When you register, you get added to a WhatsApp community. Okay, and from that WhatsApp community, we share information and everything that you need. It's going to be recorded, so even if you miss any part of it, you can always watch the replay. Okay, so go to my bio, click on the link, and register, and I'll see you at the boot camp. Okay, somebody says, can you share the names of the books? Okay, so my book is called Rise Above Your Past, and that's on Amazon. If you are anywhere you are, you can order on Amazon. If you are in Nigeria, however, we have the books also in Nigeria. We can deliver to you in Lagos. We can deliver to you in Abuja. We can also deliver to you in Ibadan. There's a WhatsApp link in my bio. Okay, if you go to my bio, there's a WhatsApp link in my bio. You can use that WhatsApp link to send me a message. Okay, I also offer one-on-one coaching and counseling and therapy sessions. So if you feel, okay, I need more than the boot camp, I want one-on-one, also use the WhatsApp link to send me a message, and we can get you started on your one-on-one sessions. And then I have a group coaching session. Okay, so the group coaching is called Empowered Empaths, because in my journey I've realized that empaths are attracted to narcissists. I'll talk more about that at the boot camp. Okay, empaths are attracted to narcissists. I've seen that 99% of the people that I work with are empaths, and then they've had a relationship with a narcissist. A narcissist will gaslight you. A narcissist believes that they are always right and you are always wrong. A narcissist will put the pressure of the blame of anything that goes wrong with the relationship is your fault. They are never at fault. Everything is your fault, right? So if you don't understand, and because as an empath, you just want everybody to be happy, you are an empath is bothered about other people's feelings. So they will do something. They don't care about their own feelings. How is she going to feel if I said no? How is he going to feel if I don't help him? Even when it's not convenient. Because of the feelings, they'll go ahead and do it. And I said, because I've had people say to me, I don't want to be like this again. I don't want to be soft. I don't know. It's okay. God made you like that for a reason, right? God made you like that for a reason. What you need to learn to do is how to be relationally intelligent, how to set healthy boundaries. And if you've been hurt or you've been through abuse, how to heal and put those boundaries in place. I am an empath, but now I say no, and I don't feel bad about saying no. If it's not convenient for me, sorry, it's a no. I still love you. I'll say to you, I say, I love you, but it's a no. Because now I realize that there must be a balance, right? I must set the boundaries because I am a limited resource as well. So you're doing and doing and doing, and then you're not taking care of yourself. The Bible says, love your neighbor as yourself. But sometimes people can't do this because they are hurt, because they don't know how to do it. So again, you can use the WhatsApp link in my bio to send me a message, inquire about the group coaching, inquire about the one-on-one coaching sessions, and also go and register for the boot camp. I'm looking forward to seeing everybody tomorrow at the boot camp. It's going to be amazing. 3 days of life-changing and life-transforming experience. I'm the Soul Doctor. My name is Jola-Grace, and I love to say I am so passionate about the health and the healing of your soul. See you next week and another exciting edition of the Soul Clinic with the Soul Doctor. Have a good night, y'all.